The Targaryens come from Old Valyria, a culture native to the Valyrian Peninsula that dominated the whole continent of Essos for thousands of years. Their dragons played a key role in this and allowed them to conquer many cities and create colonies all over the continent. After the quote-unquote doom, the House of the Targaryens and a small population of Valyrians would go on to conquer all of Westeros using Dragonstone as a launching point, making them the undisputed rulers of Westeros for roughly 400 years. They practiced inbreeding for many generations to keep the power close, and people would often say that a new Targaryen was like flipping a coin on if they would be mad or sane. So the question is, how much did inbreeding cause the madness of the Targaryens? To start off, we must understand that the genetics in the real world might not work the same as they do in the Game of Thrones universe, because we know that the Valyrians could tame dragons because of the blood magic that they possessed, and they were able to pass it down genetically. So we cannot say for sure how this would have affected their genetics, or perhaps even countered the effects of inbreeding, but this is just speculation. We should still keep it in mind because we don't know for sure how much exactly the blood magic would affect their genetics. After the Doom, a small amount of Valyrians survived around the continent of Essos. Many bred with the local population and lost all the defining features of the Valyrians, such as silver hair and violet or deep blue eyes. In some places these features still exist to varying degrees, but it mostly died off. In order to stop this from happening, the Targaryens would often marry within the family. For example, Aegon the Conqueror married both of his sisters and set the stage for this common practice over the generations. However, over the years, even the Targaryens would breed with the local population from time to time. By the time of the Mad King, the genetics of the Valyrian blood had been watered down quite a bit. For example, the Mad King had brown eyes and all of his children had blue-green eyes. This may correlate with why the Targaryens lost their ability to tame dragons. As their blood was watered down, they also lost the magic in it, thus showing that the magic in their blood had been diluted. And Daenerys was the first dragon born in generations. Even with losing some of the traditional Valyrian looks, the Targaryens were still extremely inbred. In the real world, inbreeding can lead to all sorts of issues. These issues can be in the form of deformities, being physically weaker, loss of intelligence, and much more. Also, when two people from the same blood family have kids, it increases the likelihood of negative recessive genes to come out, and they can cause a host of problems. The closer the family member, the higher of this chance. So the question is, did some form of mental illness come out of the Targaryen inbreeding? Perhaps a recessive gene of madness, or some other mental birth defect as a result. Let's look at the Targaryen line to get a better idea of this. As you can see, the Targaryen family tree is pretty insane looking from all of the inbreeding. I'm going to highlight just the siblings that got married. Pretty much every generation or two, a pair of siblings would get married, and cousins were constantly getting married as well. If the inbreeding was causing the madness, then we would expect a higher number of mad children being born from sibling parents versus the general population of Targaryens. Even though the general population is inbred, the madness would increase as you got closer to home, since this would be where the most mad children would be born. Let's see if this is true. Let's go over the known mad Targaryens and see how many were born of sibling parents. First, we have Magar Targaryen, or Magar the Cruel, and it would indeed seem that he was born of sibling parents. Next, we have Baelor Targaryen, or Baelor the Blessed. However, he came from different Valyrian households and not of sibling parents. Rhaegal Targaryen's parents are not siblings, however his father's parents were, but his mother is from a different household. Aryan Targaryen, or Aryan Brightflame's parents were not siblings, however his father's grandparents were siblings, but his mom is from a completely different household. Aerys II Targaryen, or the Mad King, did indeed have sibling parents, and both of his children, Viserys and Daenerys Targaryen, both came from sibling parents because he was married to his sister. So out of 7 mad Targaryens, 4 had sibling parents, 1 whose fathers came from sibling parents, and another whose father's grandparents were siblings, and 1 of them from 2 different households. So that is a pretty high amount that come from this very close inbreeding, but we also can't make any claims for sure with confidence, because this could just be coincidence, and they could have gone mad for normal reasons that that people do. There does seem to be a very large amount of either cruel or mad people in the Game of Thrones universe in general. And we don't know all the details about all of the Targaryens, so there could be mad ones that we don't know about, and there were also sane ones that came from sibling parents as well. For me personally, I do believe that it is the inbreeding that caused the madness to be enhanced. The madness that was probably already in the Targaryen bloodline. They bred themselves to keep the dragon blood, and it ended up being part of their downfall in the end. But what do you think? Do you think this is the cause of the madness, or is it something else? Please let me know. Thanks a lot, and have a wonderful day.